Hello, my name is Tim Goss. I'm the Senior Director for Development Services with the town of Morrisville. The video you're about to watch is a series of comments offered by citizens of the town of Morrisville at a public meeting held April 19, 2012 at the Morrisville Town Hall regarding possible capital improvement projects.
The extension of McCrimmon Parkway across 54 connecting to Evans Road, I think that's very, very important. And the second is the Public Works building. And personally, I would rather see them buy a new tract of land and build a new building rather than raising the existing building and expanding it. First of all, those are old buildings. That's a floodplain. It just makes much more sense to me to see if you can find some land. I understand there's maybe some off of International Drive. I think that would be fantastic. If we can only do two, those to me are the clear-cut two. I'd love to do all of them. I'm willing to pay the taxes to do all of them. I like the way the town has set up for 20-year bonds, and even if we were to do all 6 projects, it's not going to be a huge increase in the tax burden for folks. But if we can only do 3 or 4, those first 2, the roadway and the Public Works building, have to be done. The renovations to the Aquatics and Fitness Center are years overdue. That really is the highest priority for me on the Parks and Recs. And then the other Parks and Recs I don't really have an order of importance for. But those first 2 are vital, and then the Aquatic Center has to be fixed.
Great. Can you tell me real quickly, how do you think, say, the road project and the Public Works buildings might help Morrisville and the region?
Everybody knows what a traffic problem we have in Morrisville, so extending McCrimmon Parkway, getting a left turn lane onto McCrimmon Parkway onto 54 is going to help with the commuter traffic mornings and afternoons. If we can get some sidewalks as well. We have a lot of nice walking areas in Morrisville, but we have holes in the sidewalks, and being able to expand that should let us put in some sidewalks as well, which would be quite nice for residents. And of course, all the people who drive through Morrisville, the Cary and Apex residents, will get to enjoy the road. As far as the Public Works go, that's just a vital town service. It needs to be done. We expect a lot from the town. We're a growing town. The population keeps growing, and we have to keep expanding the Public Works facilities and our public safety facilities to keep track. We cannot expect people to provide services to more and more people with the same resources they had 20 years ago. It's absurd.
On the between the option A and option D for the NC54 bypass, option B will be much more relieving the traffic because it's at the intersection of Evans. And you can also extend the southward to the bypass, which is a very small extension that will reduce the congestion at the Evans and Aviation intersection. Thank you.
Are there any other projects that you would think would be a good idea to go forward?
I like the project that's developing the town center, the senior center, and all the other facilities there.
Okay.
Because that will go a long way to build the town center.
Actually, 3 projects I've seen that I'm very much impressed with, and we have spoken about that for many years. I like the 54 bypass. I think what it will do is take the traffic off of 54. Also the rec center. I think that's definitely high on my list. And the third one, I don't remember what was the third one.
Well, Public Works project or the expansion of Morrisville Park?
The Morrisville Park expansion, Parkland, which is what we've been hearing from people for many years.
Yes. Why are those important to you? How might they help the community?
Well, we've been hearing that from residents for many years, and I think now is the time to act.
I think the Morrisville Road extension might be really helpful for the town. I think it could take some traffic off 54. And it could be well designed, and the property tax base increase from that I think might over time pay for itself, which would be really important because right now I think that the town is really stretched to its limits, and any more bonds that we pass, we have to service that debt. And I'm afraid that if we go ahead and have these projects and we fail to increase our property tax rate, we need to go ahead and find a way to try to maintain our services and increase our services to make it a better town, and this would be one of the projects that I think could make that happen.
Is there any other project also that you'd like to see go forward in particular?
That's the one I think that would be nice. I mean, the aquatic center would be really nice. We were really underfunding them, and they're handcuffed and they're having a little difficulty making a profit there. So I think we need to invest some money in that, and I'm not sure. We need to give them some more size and more capability.
So they have to give those projects which are causing problem to the Morrisville residents and even commuters and even the businesses. And I am really very saddened that is those kind of projects, town just think that it's not their responsibility, or we will someday we will look at it, we have this excuse or that excuse.
Do you have in mind certain projects that we should be paying attention to?
Yes. For example, they say this section of town Morrisville Carpenter Road between say Town Hall Drive and up to the Savannah subdivision, where there has been maybe a couple of years ago casualty, and people constantly complain it is so risky, so dangerous. And I had here spoken, okay, in the say to the town council maybe 8 months or 9 months ago, has given a petition with 200 signatures. Then again, the same kind of petition was repeated when you had the opening ceremony for the fire station, and which also has increased the risk because now the fire trucks will be using that congested road more often than before. But it looks like that is town is sort of saying, oh, this is really is there on the radar, and the DOT is the devil. Okay, and if they don't do it, we don't care how much is the difficulty it is. We recognize it, but we won't do anything. This has been their answer, and I have been working on one for about a year, and before me people have been working, and after me other activists, 2 activists have started talking to the town, but the town response is not encouraging.
Absolutely. Since I am on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, I'm really concerned with Parks and Rec, and the Morrisville Aquatic and Fitness Center is sort of a pet of mine, and I think it's a tremendous asset to the town. I know of no other towns around that have that particular facility like that, and I think we need to expand it because Morrisville's expanding as far as population.
It's really quite a beautiful facility.
Do you use it very often?
About 5 times a week.
Okay. Is there another project that you saw tonight in addition to the MAFC that you would like to see go forward?
Well, there's another parks, the extension of the community park. We need that too. I mean, Morrisville is growing, and we need to look at the population and see what we can have as far as an asset. And our parks are an asset. Some people are talking about maybe privatizing the Aquatic and Fitness Center, and I don't agree with that because I think that it's an asset to, and it's a gym, G-E-M, not G-Y-M, but it's a gym to this area, and it wasn't made to make it. It wasn't. We don't have it to make money. So I think that the entire Parks and Recreation, but every other thing, I know I've seen the facility for the Public Works, and that is horrible. So they need some help there too.
Right. Well, with your interest in Parks and Recreation, do you have do you have any feelings toward the senior center that was suggested for the town center area?
Sure. I mean, it's another Parks and Rec type thing, and there's no place. Well, the seniors, as far as I know, they go over to Cedar Fork, and that's sort of a crowded area over there at Cedar Fork, and then they need their own things. And I think that they would get a lot of activities and a lot of participation from the seniors, because there are, and I have no idea what the numbers are as far as seniors in this area in Morrisville, but I know there's a lot of them.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, Morrisville has great leadership. They have had in the past, and we have great leadership now. A senior center would be very important for any thriving and growing community to address the needs of all ages in a community. The proposed tax rate, property tax rate, has a minimal impact upon the homeowner, and the more we improve, the more taxes we'll bring into the community, the better, pretty, more attractive we become to all. And we just sit in a very unique opportunity sitting in the heart of the Triangle, of Research Triangle Park, a wonderful little Morrisville that's just exploding with growth and great beauty. And the projects tonight were just very well laid out, well attended, very professional, easy to understand. It has been a great presentation.
The road was the big thing for me. That's what mostly brought me out here, to see what the projects were, what they were. I just kind of had a hard time visualizing it. I want to see that, but just all of them in general. But the road was the big thing.
Do you think the road is something that would benefit you personally, or might it benefit, say, the town as a whole, or the region as well?
I think it'd probably be good for the town. I think that the B option, and talking to people, although it's a little more expensive, it seems like that's a good way to go, because of just the way it meets up there with Evans, and I think it has a potential, you know, for better growth and better expansion. But I think it would probably help also me, with my issues. I'm mostly Morrisville carpenter, because I live right off of there. And it can back up pretty good from 54, actually in both directions. So I can trace, I was looking on the map, I kind of trace an alternate route if that expands for people to go along the airport. So.
But the most important one, I think, is the bypass for 54. And we liked option B. I think that's the best one because it goes around everything. The other one kind of wanders.
Okay.
And I think that's so important. 54 is just so congested. And then the Main Street is a great idea because you can gather everybody together and then they can decide what they really want to do. I think it's a great idea to start to get people together.
Do you, are you able to, is there a place, is that missing now in town, that gathering place like that?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything, we're outdoors like that, where you could just gather.
Okay, and that project has both the park part of it as well as the senior center idea?
Right, that's a good deal.
Okay.
And the more people you can get together, the better this stuff will go across. And you can get a lot more done that way.
Okay. Is there any other project you saw that struck your fancy?
Well, those two were the most important. I think the renovation on the aquatic center is an important part too.
Okay.
I absolutely love the senior center and the activities around that. I also, most of the projects I am absolutely 100% behind. I would like to see us on the road project focus on finishing Morrisville Carpenter first and then look at some of these alternatives. But overall, excellent. I definitely am in support of everything else and moving all of this forward.
Do you see any particular benefit or how might some of these projects really benefit Morrisville and the area?
Oh, absolutely. I have family who comes down 6 months of the year for the and participates in senior activities, but since we don't really have a place for her to go, she ends up going over to Cary, and I really think we need to have something in town where our seniors can really enjoy themselves and feel comfortable that they can go there and have a safe place to enjoy themselves and enjoy each other's as activities.
Okay, good.